Today we discuss new law on light cavalry troops from Finland. We look at how and with what they fight, how the death factories of hell, making new armoured weapons, changes their tactics, and give you a little lore on the Path of the Beast creature mentioned within this lore dump. The creature is a merman from Finland. So welcome back to the trenches, and let's begin. So the subject of this lore is the Hakkapeliitta of the Northern Front. They are light cavalry troops of Finland, which act as the first line of defence against the heretic menace of the Northern Hellgate. Their name is derived from their war cry, which translates as strike at them, but it has echoed across many battlefields since the formation of the units in the 1600s to counter the opening of the Northern Hellgate. Motor vehicles are an expensive rarity here, far from the main power centres of the faithful. Instead, the protectors of the north rely on their truly cold-blooded Finn horses, smaller in size than many of their counterparts, but strong, hardy, and well suited to the freezing temperatures of the harsh Finnish winter. Hakkapeliittas are armed with rapid rifles and pistols. They like to shoot at close distance, though some are expert marksmen and dismount to act as deadly snipers when they detect the enemy. In their melee, they use cavalry swords as well as lances tipped with explosives. Their tactics involve rushing at the enemy and firing a rapid volley with their pistols, then charging in with their swords. If they encounter heavily armoured enemies, the explosive lancers are brought to bear. I'm imagining a lance with a stick of dynamite stuck on the end for some silly reason. The armour worn by both the soldiers and their horses is lighter than that of their counterparts in other faithful nations, reflecting the rarity of the precious orichalcum steel in the far north. Lacking manufacturing plants of their own, Finnish soldiers are experts at using the weapons, munitions and equipment taken from their fallen enemies, them doing this out of practicality. Most faithful armies refuse to even touch such armaments, fearing the corrupting influence of hell. But the warriors of the north can afford no such luxury, and can be seen handling rifles and blades taken as war prizes from fallen heretics. Few roads across the trackless forests of Finland that stretches for hundreds of miles. The roads themselves act as ideal places to ambush the heretics, and terrain outside the roads is even more dangerous. Within the impenetrable woodlands, deadly swamps and bogs await the unwary during the summer, while during the dark of winter a deathly pall of snow descends upon the land. The cold brings quick death to any would-be invader who would cross the unforgiving land unprepared and ill-equipped. The Finnish forces use their knowledge of the lay of their land to even the odds. They are too few in number to match their enemies in open battles. During major invasions, the Hakkapeliittas, and apologies if I keep saying that wrong, act as recon and skirmish forces, delaying the enemy as the faithful muster their armies to counter them. In recent years, the death factories of hell have begun to produce more and more tanks and other armoured vehicles. This Finnish infantry have adapted their tactics in response, carrying anti-vehicle mines, Molotov cocktails, and other weapons capable of dealing with enemy armour, as well as their traditional weapons, which lack the power to pierce the metals crafted in the Iron City of Dis. These Finnish border reavers know the importance of their role. The populations of the north are too small, and the border area too vast and inhospitable for permanent defensive lines. Instead, the Finnish infantry must determine when they are facing clever feints or small raider warbands, and when the forces of hell are mustering for major invasion. Many in the past have penetrated deep into faithful lands, with the most recent one driving far into the south, when a full-scale invasion by the followers of Zemania struck deep into the south in 1908. And I knew when I heard that name, Zemania, I'd heard of it from somewhere else. I looked it up and it's from the Hellgate of the North lore. We'll just go over that bit here to keep you up to date. There was another deeper concern about the war cardinal holds about the Northern Gate, and why his personal servants keep vigil over it. Zemania, one of the royalty of fallen angels, is also the devil of the north. The Council of Saints have issued a dire warning to the princes of the church. If this scion of hell ever becomes the serpent head of pride, he will come to claim the north as his own, and mountains will tremble at his passing. And for memory, I believe that is the title of this fallen angel in some real world lore as well. Anyway, back to the Hakkapeliitta. The invaders were only stopped in the cataclysmic Battle of Vilnius, where the combined forces of the Kalmar Union, Free State of Prussia, Tsardom of Novgorod, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Principality of Kiev stopped them at the very gates of the ancient city. To avoid another disaster from such an invasion, the patrols of the north must keep an eternal vigilance over these forbidding vast lands. The Hakkapeliitta, shown here, Johannes Falk Koskelka, is one of them, a veteran warrior who patrols the northern frontier, intercepting small heretic warbands, and watching the north for any signs of major invasions, and intercepting enemy infiltrators and raiding parties. Johannes served for 7 years in New Antioch before returning to the northern homeland hardened by war. Haunted by his experiences, he enlisted with the border forces and joined many others like him, who understood why going back to civilian life is near impossible. He's known for his near-suicidal bravery in long-distance patrols that have taken him ever nearer to the hellmouth itself. His faithful steed, Hela, who is the queen of the Norse. No, sorry, she's not. She is something much worse than that, actually. Hela is a play on the name I'm more familiar with, which is Hel, H-E-L, and that she is a strong goddess who presides over the realm of the dead. And she's also a child of Loki, the trickster god. Anyway, let's get on with this. To pick up where I left off before rambling off there, his faithful steed Hela shows the terrible signs of corruption that plague all animals that stray too close to the infernal gate. As with many steeds, Hela is festooned with holy symbols, as these are believed to keep evil at bay. The bonds between the steed and the rider is often strong, and the Hakkapeliittas spend much of their meagre pay on holy icons and crucifixes, hoping to protect their loyal mounts from the influence of evil, as well as from the dreaded merman of the Path of the Beast, which stalk the forgotten grottos and swamps in the lands that have been claimed by the heretic lords of the north. His horse has been warped by closest to the Hellgate. If you look at the art, you can see how it's been warped, but it also seems to hold relics on it that might prevent further warping, and that's mentioned, I think, in the Hellgate of the North lore. But it's interesting to see its effects here. As for the Path of the Beast creature being called the merman, that is a type of merman. The Tumblr Beastarium says, with the upper body of a man and the lower body of a seal. In some modern depictions just a fish tail, the Icelandic merman resembles a classical European merman, but they distinguish themselves by being benevolent beings rather than murderous monsters that drag sailors to a watery death. They are dubbed as wise and intelligent. In one story they are featured in when he's caught by a fisherman. When the man's dog barks, he tells it off, but the merman laughs, and several more things happen to the fisherman that also make it laugh. And so the fisherman asks why it laughs. In exchange he agrees to let it go. The creature says, "You kicked your dog, though he loves you more than anything in the world. I found this strange. Then you cursed a hillock, although it is full of valuable rare minerals. I found this absurd. And then you kissed your wife, even though she hates your guts and is cheating on you. I found this weird. And if you like this video on Trench Crusade, then you might also like this one. And if you want a number of videos on Trench Crusade, then why not check out the playlist on the channel. I also cover 40k and have at best 3 a week and at worst 1 on a Saturday. There are 2 playlists for that. One focuses on everything and the other focuses particularly on the dark age of technology. Lots of lore and theories based on the stuff there. Historically, and to return one day, I did a load of Dune videos, which also have its own playlist on the channel. There was also a playlist for the Expanse books and TV series, most of the books, and a short playlist for the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio and Red Rising by P.S. Brown. And that's where I will put this video to sleep.